So you're a 16-year-old girl, you give birth, and then you realize that your child has special needs. How do you deal with that? Where does your life go? What decisions do you make around the child, around your life? This is a child taking care of another child, and this child also has special needs. We have an extraordinary young girl who changed her entire life and didn't let this situation that she was in, or the circumstance of her life and the choices that surrounded her, change and really destroy her life. Because easily your life could just be a mess after taking one wrong move. But what she did with her life after realizing that she had a special needs child, she went and opened a school for other parents that also have special needs children to come and find help and have these children have a space where they're accepted and taken care of. Aside from that, she's also encouraging other young women all the way in Likoma to help them as young single moms or just young moms, empowering them. I'm very happy today to introduce to you a young woman, 22 years old, Tusaywe Mkondia. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Girl, I am happy to have you. First off, and I need you to share as boldly as you can, and we've shared this story as we've chatted, so I'd love for everyone to also get to appreciate where you're coming from and the work that you're doing. How do you get pregnant at 16? What happens for someone to fall pregnant at 16?
So as for me, I didn't know more about contraceptive pills and other things. Of course, I've learned about it at school, but I wasn't sure. Mm-hmm. So I met this other guy, because I've grown up without a father, so he showed me father love. I don't know if it was father love or it was just the love that I was trying to find.
Yeah.
So he lied to me that he doesn't produce sperms, he doesn't ejaculate and stuff. So he wanted to sleep with me. So we had the relationship, then I got pregnant. So after the pregnant, that's when he abandoned me.
Oh, okay. So first he says he doesn't produce any sperm because
he's young. He said he's young. So I believed him. He was also young that time.
Yeah. You were 16, 15?
I was 15. Mm-hmm. So I was 15 turning 16. So that's when I got pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you tell him that you're pregnant, his reaction?
He was like, I don't produce sperm, I don't ejaculate, I'm not the father. You have to find out who's the father is. Yeah, so he was like that.
Okay. So I'm going to assume and give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he thought that's real information, but I doubt it. I'm sure he knows his own body.
Yeah, he does.
But people will say things, you know? So like you said, you already had learned some things concerning these sexual relations at school.
Yeah.
Where was the gap, do you believe?
Like, I think it was at school, of course, but I wasn't really sure what they were talking about. I think because sometimes we don't really understand English when it comes to Malawi when you're reading at a government school. So it was like I was just studying the thing for examination. I couldn't put them in reality. So I made the reality was different with what I have learned from school.
Wow. Yeah, that's so true. You have a point there.
Yeah.
And muntu ndiwe mwana. So many uzitolele zintu zingati mwana.
Deserve food.
Yeah.
So it could have also been different if my parents could have told me about it. Because they always just tell us, "Uramuna maluma." So I wasn't sure ura maluma was.
Like, so
so I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Some transparency helps from people that we trust.
Yeah.
How did you find out that you are pregnant?
So after I slept with the guy, I was just thinking, because my body changed. I stopped eating. I was just drinking water for a week.
Wow.
So I was just scared. So I had to move to. I was in Nilong at that time, so I had to move to Mzuzu to find out if I'm pregnant. So I had to ask some friends that how can I find out that I'm pregnant. So these friends had to tell me, you just have to buy a pregnant test. So I was like, pregnant test, what's that? They were saying it's something that you can just buy at 500 kwacha. So I bought it and I did the test and I found out that I was pregnant. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And your reaction?
I was so scared because my grandmother was and I was so scared. Like, I don't want to keep this child. The father doesn't want this child. I have grown up without a father, and I don't want this to happen to my son because I know how it feels. So I don't want to bring this child to this world to struggle. So I had to look for ways how to abort the baby. So I tried almost 7 times, but it didn't work. That was natural ways. I tried, it didn't work. So I just had to give up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the natural ways, who exactly were you talking to find these natural ways?
So I had some other friends who have already done abortion maybe 15 times, 10 times, 8 times. I'm telling you.
Those numbers are very high.
10 times.
And these are all teenagers.
Teenagers. And now maybe they're 23, 24.
Oh, wow.
They were expats, so they were like, I was going to the elderly to ask them.
Oh, the elderly in the art.
Yeah, so I was asking them, how do they abort? Because at that time I used to judge them that these girls, they just do abortion, they don't understand, like they're being bad girls and stuff. But when I was pregnant, I understand how it feels for someone to reach a point of doing abortion. I felt the fear, and looking around the situation and everything, that's why I wanted to do abortion. So they told me about the ways, the Panadols, the aloe veras, the ash, a lot of different things.
That all didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work.
Do you think if your boyfriend accepted the pregnancy, that would have changed how you felt about having the child?
Yeah, I couldn't abort the baby. I could have kept the baby. I couldn't think about abortion, I should say so. Yeah, I could have kept the baby because I could know that there will be someone who is going to help me raise the child. The child is going to have a family because growing up without a family is a hard thing.
Just to clarify to everyone, the pregnancy, it remained?
Yeah, it
the
remained.
Abortion didn't work?
It didn't work.
All 7 times?
7 times.
Let's then get to how your family found out, because obviously you can't forever hide a pregnancy.
Yeah. So my family, they were suspecting that I'm pregnant. So they took me to the hospital. So at the hospital, I had to bribe a nurse.
Okay, bribe a nurse to do what?
to tell my family that I wasn't pregnant. So they believed it. But after some times, I couldn't stay happy at home. I wasn't free. So I had to tell my neighbor. I have a close friend. Her name is Madrine Muhango. She's almost 62, so I call her a friend. So I went to her house. I told her that I was pregnant so that she should tell my family. So she did. So it was fire that night.
I can imagine.
Everyone was disappointed. My grandfather loves me so much. My grandmother wanted me to move out, but my grandfather was like, doesn't matter if the father of the child has said no, just leave the child here. She was born here and she has been raised here. Let her give birth to our child here. We're going to see the way forward.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's special.
Yeah,
Did that encourage you, or was it still a difficult time for you?
With what was happening at the family, it was hard. Like what other people could talk, my family members, what they could say and everything. It was hard, but being accepted by my grandfather made me to look into life in a different way. Like it encouraged me to start a business. I was doing a small business. I started selling samosa. I wanted to just make him
while you were pregnant.
Yeah, I messed up, so I didn't want to mess up more. So I didn't want to keep them busy. So I thought of let me start a business. So that's when I started selling samosa when I was pregnant.
Wow.
So I was buying clothes. When I found 50 I could go and buy kanyina momo I would buy tintuto cheap and keep it for my son, and I was so happy.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
And ndina chuka could I'm pregnant even at school. But this
were
is what I
you
did.
still in school at that time? Actually,
I went back to school.
So you were in school pregnant?
Yeah.
Were you showing as well?
After I find out, then that's when I started showing it.
Oh, okay.
I find out that if I hide it, people are going to talk more and it's going to stress me. So this is what I did. And I was happy. But I'm pregnant. I'm going to start school. So life was easy and people couldn't believe it. Like my friends at school, they were like, she's just joking. And I could sleep in class, and they could ask me why, and I could be like, "Hey, I mimba."
Oh my gosh! What year were you in when you got pregnant? What form?
So I was repeating Form 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in form 3 at this time, you're pregnant. Your family knows. You go back to school.
I was
while you're
continuing
pregnant.
to. I was already in school, so they wanted me to write exams so that I should stop.
Okay. So you were going to write your exams to go and give birth.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
I wrote the exams, but it was hard to write exams because I was always sleeping in the exams.
Did you pass?
In Form 3, yes, I passed to go to the other term, but I didn't continue. Yeah.
So did you stop altogether? Did you stop at Form 3 with your education, or
No, at first I have already written Form 4, so I wanted to repeat to get more good points. So I just, after stopping at Form 3, the other year after stopping at Form 3, I just continued with just applying for catering. So I did catering and.
Oh, okay. Because you had already gotten your MSc.
MSc, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's good. And it's good to see that your school accepted you back in.
Yeah.
It's good to also see that your family allow you to go back to school despite the fact that you were pregnant. Because Mutuma fungira a bit of school.
School, yeah.
So that was good, and congratulations for passing your exams.
Thanks.
You said, Goody, you were not free when your family didn't know about you being pregnant. What do you mean?
I mean, like, I wasn't able to say what I want to eat with the cravings. I wasn't able to sleep anytime that I want.
Yeah.
So I was also working at home, like doing house chores that I didn't want to do. So it was hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. You want to be pampered, and you need time as well to
Exactly.
rest. And like you said, to eat what you want.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, you were a child at 16 years old, 15 pregnant, and 16 you're giving birth. You're in Form 3, kind of redoing your exams and everything. You're a child who is expecting a child, and those are just some of the information that you had leading up to getting pregnant and all that.
Yeah.
But like I said also earlier, everyone, Tusaywe actually went on to give birth to a child that also has special needs. We're going to take a short break and hear about that, and also the work that she's doing in empowering young women and helping other parents that have special needs children. Stick around, you're watching Humanity. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Humanity on Zodiac. I have a very special guest in studio today, 22-year-old Tusaywe, who is actually the founder of 2 organizations, Empowering Young Women, Young Mothers Foundation, and also You Are Not Alone Foundation. She is a young girl already that got pregnant at 16 years old, gave birth to a special needs child, but she's doing so much work around that. But now what I want to find out is how you then found out that your son has special needs.
So when I was pregnant, when I was near the due time, so my grandmother passed away when it was 7 months. The pregnancy when it was 7 months old. So I had no one else to wait for me, kuchbara. So I asked my mother. It didn't work because of her family issues with her husband. So it was like 90 agogamonaoka who had to wait for me kuchpata. So we had to call agoguinage to wait for me. So she came and she was complaining for the I reached almost 10 months.
Oh.
So she was complaining. She wanted to go back home, do business and everything like that. So after I gave birth, after she went back. So she left me with a baby. So imagine that time I turned 17. So I was only 17 with a baby. I don't know what to do with the baby. I wasn't so sure. So after a week, my son got sick. I went to the hospital. So it was always, every month I was going to the hospital, admitted with the child. He was malnourished. And I think he was malnourished because he couldn't suck my boob. So that's why he was sick. He was losing weight. He wasn't a healthy baby, and people thought the baby is going to die. So everything that he was doing, it was slow. Like for him to walk, it took time. For him to stand, it took time. Everything took time. So Then I was transferred to come to Lilongwe, here in Lilongwe, because he wasn't able to speak. So I wasn't sure.
How many months was he?
2 years. I think it was 2 years.
So since the time he was born, you were in hospital every month.
Every month.
To the point that at 2 years he wasn't able to speak. They referred you to a hospital here in Lilongwe.
Yeah, I came here. At first I thought he had Rift Parrot.
Yes.
So I came here for an operation. So they told me that he doesn't have a Rift Parrot. Then they just said he has tonsils. So he had his first operation. But after the operation, a certain doctor told me that the doctor always come to visit him. So he studied him. So he was like, I think this child, he just said he thinks, I think this child has autism.
Autism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because his behavior and everything, it's marking to the list of what autism children.
What kind of behavior did he have?
Like, he couldn't, whenever you call him, he couldn't pay attention. He could walk with his toes. He could sometimes, whenever he's angry, he could beat himself, like, kuzimenyesa kukoma. So it was strange. And also everyone was like, mina mizimu, people were talking about. So I had to accept that. I had to talk to the guys from Sandy. So they just said, if I find money, they can go and assess him. But at that time I didn't have the money. So I just took a step. I just accepted it that he's autistic. Then I took a step looking at Google. Internet helped me a lot. I was finding information on how I can help him, how I can help with the speech, how I can help with his behavior. Yeah, so that's how I understood him through the internet.
So there was, as you said, there was a list that the doctor was kind of looking at.
Yeah.
On his toes and my milestones now.
And he keeps on doing he is always he has his own time. He wakes up this time. He eats this time. Always like that.
So there's a routine that he goes with.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So Sandy is a hospital here that helps to look at children with special needs, to assess, to help.
Yeah.
But this entire time, the 2 years that you've had him going to the hospital, that was the first time that any doctor even said anything of that nature.
Yeah.
Mpaka my operation guardian, they still didn't know that it was autism.
Yeah.
How is he now?
Now he's improving because I also sacrificed my time by going to St. John of God to do voluntary work to learn more about children with special needs. Wow. So I have read a lot of things and I've been using them on him. So now there's an improvement.
Look at you. Yeah. Look at you, young mommy.
So yeah, we're just waiting for the speech
Is he a happy child?
He doesn't know how to smile. But I'm a say guy, you can tell he's a happy child, but it's just in his own world. Yeah.
Did things change for his health after you found out what was wrong?
So after I found out what was wrong, I think things changed when he was I was told that he's autistic, and there's other food that I have to give him and I don't have to give him. So there was a big change.
I'm so happy to hear that.
A long time ever since it has been quite a long time ever since I got to the hospital.
Wow, that's good news.
Yeah, it is.
Now let's talk about the other thing that you did, which is opening a whole preschool for children with special needs. And of course you reach out to other people.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So when I noticed that my child was autistic, whenever I sent him to nursery school, he was always being abused, to be honest. They couldn't understand him, because he couldn't speak, they could leave the diaper. Almost when I leave him from 7 o'clock, when I'm coming back from work, I was doing it was an internship somewhere else with the hospitality thing. So after that, I would find him with the diaper. They couldn't feed him because some other food he can't eat. Some other food. He also had the problem that he doesn't know how to chew, or let me say maybe he doesn't know how to swallow. So I could find him not being fed. They could just abuse him. So I discovered this because every time when we were using the load to that school, he was always crying. Not that he doesn't want the school, but because of what he's facing. Then I
So
heard
malo amamukumbutsa zinto zosakhala.
up to now he still remembers.
Wow.
Up to now he doesn't want to go that side. So I found out from other parents as well, kuti mwana tu amapangidwa nkhaza at school. So I had to think, hey, what will I do with my son? I went to St. John of God and I was waiting for a place, but it was taking time.
They have a school.
Yeah, St. John of God Hospital. They have a school for children with disabilities.
Special needs. Okay, yeah.
So I just sat down and say, what if I just open a school whereby I can help my son as well as I can help other children. So I opened the school. That's when I started enrolling other children with the same problem. And sometimes I just discover that this child has autism. Maybe the parent, they don't know, but I can tell that this child is autistic. So yeah.
How many children do you have overall at the school?
With autism?
Just generally?
85.
85?
Yeah, I have two schools, so 40 at the other school, 45 at the other.
How many of those have special needs?
We almost have 6 different special needs.
Okay. Tell me about training, because I'm sure, obviously, when you're taking care of children with special needs, who's doing it? You, other teachers? How are you sorting that?
When it comes to teaching, I am the one who does it.
You teach the students with special needs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Using the what I got from where I was volunteering, the information that I got from where I was volunteering.
80-something children altogether. Obviously, the more teachers we have, the better.
Yeah.
Another thing then would be the empowering young mothers in Likoma.
Yeah.
Just briefly, because we're out of time, what does that look like?
Okay, so empowering young mothers is there to empower mothers like me, because with what I have explained, what I have passed through, I understand how it feels to be young and having a child.
Yeah. So
I opened this organization so that I can help these women through vocational trainings like tailoring and designing, cosmetology, life skills. We also have this other lady introduced music and arts. Yeah.
Wow.
And hospitality.
Oh man, I'm so proud of you. I'm sitting here and I'm very proud. But I know that the work that you're doing, maka izi za preschool zomwe tukambazi zoti you're taking care of ana oti alindima special needs, and then ana enawo ndionena kuti amabwera amachokera from families ovutika. Pamene popoti ngokamba kwambiri amalipira zingati?
So it was amalipira 1000 wacha yogulira timati yogulira sugar chifukwa ana wa amaja ku school wonko like timapasa phala ndi amalipira 1000 yokuti mina tiguleko sugar mwina anthu ngati sana pereke ma wishes ndrama tipereke tapase kwa mwina ziphunzisi olo timati lipitireko mazi amalipira 1000 wacha.
How are you sustaining these schools?
Okay, this schools, like I have said, tima panga depend on well wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if someone wants to donate, panga communicate with me. They can donate food, zovala, or they can pay the teachers. Or la kulipia fees, it's not weka fee. You mutakoza kupanga donate 5,000 kwacha per month.
For a child?
Yeah, for a child.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How do they get in touch with you? I really wish we talked about that school. I'll find you in Zuzu so that everyone can also see that school and the impact that you're making. How can people get in touch with you so that they can be helpful in this cause?
Okay, so they can like my Facebook page, or they can just follow me on Facebook, Tusaywe Jerome Jahazel.
Say that slowly, girl.
Tusaywe Jerome Jahazel. And my number is...
Jeremy is your son's name.
So it's Jeremy Jahazel. So they can search that on Facebook, they're going to find me. Or they can just search Tusaywe, they're going to find me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so they can also contact me on my number, 099 555 3621.
Everyone, those are the numbers that you are seeing on the screen and the information that you need to actually find Tusaywe. Tusaywe, I am so proud of you for not giving up on yourself, for not giving up on your son, because it's very easy when you find yourself in that situation, not just to give up on yourself, but to give up on your child that lived in your own body.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough situation, but you overcame that, and you also stood above it to also help other people. I am personally proud of you.
Thank
and
you.
I hope that you get all of the assistance that you need to help the children that you're caring for in these schools, and also for the special needs children that you have. So my appeal to those that know what to do and have the influence, obviously her school needs training for the children with disabilities, for the teachers, the equipment that they need, toys, as she's already said, food, money, any kind of resource to keep it afloat so that they can continue to make an impact in their community. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you everyone for coming through this week. We will be back next week with another guest who will just give us the best of what they're doing in their lives. My name is Ruth Kolaisi. Have a good one.
To be honest, my community is my playground for where I pick up my creativity.
After all, it's our story. For the best of your original drama.